European Union Law, Van Gend and Loos Case Analysis. Introduction. This case has since famously received the name of Van Gend and Loos. In the book by Hanson, this case represents a very essential ruling related to the European Court of Justice. The importance of this case is emphasized by the fact that it set out that the establishment of the European Economic Community Treaty had provisions for the creation of legal rights enforceable by natural and legal persons and priority of the courts of the member states in the community. This principle is currently known as that of direct effect. This case by far turned out to be one of the most significant if not the most vital decision in the European Union's operations. Facts. The plaintiff, who was a postal and transportation company, did import urea formaldehyde into the Netherlands from West Germany. The former country's customs authority went ahead and charged them duty on the chemical imported. Following this, the plaintiff argued that the tariff in essence was contrary to the law of the European Community. According to the Treaty of Rome, the plaintiff argued in line with Article 12 of the treaty, which has since been replaced by Article 25 EC, that states in part that member states were not under any circumstances to introduce any duties or taxes or any other charges whatsoever that would have a similar effect as to raise the commodity prices. Further, the pre-existing ones were not to be increased. Issues. The root of the case was the setting of a chemical in a different class by the Benelux countries. This customs category resulted in higher customs charges for the chemical. The court decided that there was a breach of the treaty in doing this, since the provision of the treaty was that member states were to progressively lower the customs duties between themselves. In his book, Calmann states that the ruling went further to state that such a breach could create an action by individuals before national courts or even by the states in the community themselves. The plaintiff went ahead to pay up the tariff charged but went to seek recompense from the national court. In its ruling, the National Court referred to the judiciary of the EC in a quest to know whether the present Article 25 of the treaty did actually confer rights to nationals to vindicate in the National Court. Legal arguments. The advocate, General Romer, was of the opinion that some of the articles entrenched in the treaty actually had a direct effect, thus implying that citizens of the member states could actually rely upon them, but stated that Article 12 was not such an article. This opinion was, however, totally distinct from the judgment that was established by the court. The court argued that it was essential to consider the spirit of a provision, the wording, and the general scheme thereof for it to be directly effective. Further, the argument was that since the treaty was created to benefit individuals of the member states, the individuals could therefore have rights in their national courts. Conclusion. The case has largely affected how the articles in the EC treaty are viewed. They are seen to be directly effective as opposed to being directly applicable in their usage against the state. It has also been vital in illustrating the very innovative jurisprudence of the European Court of Justice. While on one hand, the concept of direct effect finds no mention in the agreement, the court decided that the doctrine was essential to ensure that the member states complied with their responsibilities set out by the Treaty of Rome. In the book by Moens, the ruling has worked to provide a more effective yet very relevantly distributed mechanism of enforcement. This is because, in direct effect, the Commission is not ideally required to bring an action against a state.